Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the January 11th work session. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pauline, can you do a roll call, please?
Ms. Belcastro,
Here.
Mr. Bloom,
Here. Okay.
Mrs. DeSenda,
Here.
Mr. King,
Here.
Mr. Moab,
Here.
Mr. O'Neill,
Here.
Mr. Ross,
Here.
Mr. Zersky,
Here.
Mr. Ambrose.
Here.
Okay, an executive session was held tonight at 6:30 for the purpose of discussing personnel issues and for the board to receive information from the superintendent. Also, since you have a familiar face here tonight, I'm not going to go through the board decorum on public comment, so we'll skip over that.
Okay. Is there any comment on any agenda items? Okay, thank you very much. I do the minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay. Item 4, minutes to approve the voting session minutes from November 17th, 2022. And number 2, to approve the voting session minutes from December 1st, 2022. Any questions? Okay, moving on. Let's move on to Mr. King, Treasurer's Report.
Number 1, the following bills and reports are submitted for approval. 1, from the December 2022 general fund payments in the amount of $1,197,689.35. Number 2, confirm the December 2022 cafeteria fund payments in the amount of $102,833.14. Number 3, confirm the December 2022 construction fund payments in the amount of $536,172.08. Report to approve the November 2021 Berkheimer report. Number 2, to approve the December 2021 Berkheimer report.
Okay. Any questions on any of those items? All right, let's move on to agenda items. I have nothing under board policy and items. Let's call on Mr. O'Neill, chairperson for negotiations.
We have nothing, but with the new committee arrangements, we should probably get together. Dr. Perry and I have talked about some directions we want to go when we get to the Act 93 contracts.
Yes.
And also we'll have staff contracts coming up. And
Yeah, so my intent is for all the new committee chairs that I'll be reaching out to you to set up a meeting with you to talk about any items that we're going to need to address with regards to your areas.
Okay.
okay,
Sounds good. Thank you. Anything else under negotiations?
That's-
Line item C, education items. Mr. Ross, chairperson.
Number 1, to approve, confirm the release time, staff development requests. The conference and location is listed on the left-hand column, the individuals in the middle that are attending them, and the dates that they will attend.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. You did a good job getting through that. Moving right along. Any questions on that? Okay. Let's move over to D, technology. Mr. Moad, chairperson.
One item to approve an MOU with the BVIU on behalf of the Beaver County RWAN Consortium for a regional-wide area network and services, 5-year agreement with DQE Communications, terms and conditions according to proposal.
Any questions on that? Okay. Hearing none, let's move on. Athletics. Item E, Mr. King, chairperson.
Number 1, to approve the following conditioning programs to run January 9th through March 3rd, 2023 at a rate of $10 per hour up to 60 hours total. Coaches are Evan Sullivan, softball, Tim Rudiswitz, baseball, boys tennis, Bill King, track, Mark Lyons, weightlifting. Number two, to approve the Central Valley Middle School swim team to practice at Hopewell Pool this spring, pending approval by the Hopewell Area School Board of Education.
Okay.
Do we have anything on the tennis coach?
So as far as tennis coach, the advertisement, you want to speak to that, Sam?
Advertisements are advertised and be in Sunday's paper with applicants due on Wednesday, the 18th. So.
Okay.
Stuff there.
So the applicants come in the same day that we're looking to do the exit interviews. So Mr. Bloom, you weren't here, but we're looking at Wednesday, the 18th, potentially around 1:30 to start exit interviews for the all sports.
Okay, thank you.
Sam, you'll get an email out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on athletics? Hearing none, we'll move on. F, extracurricular activities, Ms. Valcastro, chairperson.
Okay, so if you look, this is just an FYI for the field trips. You have your destination in the left-hand column, the group who will be attending in the middle, and on the right-hand column, the dates.
Good. Any questions on extracurricular activities? Thank you, Ms. Valcastro. Okay, building and grounds. Before I bring our chairperson on, Mr. Zaritsky, I think we're here to hear clarification and explanation from Clint, our clerk of the works.
Good evening. So we've had an exciting couple of months. The last time I did this, it was November the 9th. We've accomplished quite a bit since then, and it's going really well. Nothing. We have problems here and there, but it's minor stuff. We just work through it. We re-engineer it. We fix it. We do what we have to do, and we carry it. And it's, for me, it's going exceptionally. Masonry is approximately 90% complete. That's all walls up to finish height, completely grouted. All block walls to height will be finished next week. Then we will move around and stay out of the way of other trades, and we will do split face and veneer, which is the nice finish that you see when you drive by the existing homes.
The outside block.
The outside block. Electrical and plumbing continue to follow masonry with all the rough in pipe for plumbing and electric. So basically, when we are done with block, we will be also done with the plumbing, electrical, roughing. So, you know, after that, when we get our roof on, all we're doing is we're putting in faucets and sinks and toilets, and all that.
Yeah.
What we call grunt work is already. The D120, which is the special ed room, we completed all of the plumbing and all of the electrical and the construction of the bathroom in that room over the Christmas break. We chose some tasks from what we had ahead of us that were going to make a lot of noise and could be a disturbance to teachers and kids. And we accomplished everything that we could accomplish. So when the kids came back, we were done making noise and mess. So the kids like it, but the teachers don't. Concrete slab is about 50% done across the new build. We will not do any more slab until we get the roof on, dry the rest of the building out, get some heat in there, and then we'll bring that other 50% up to grade and finish. All the door frames are installed in the storm shelter wing. When I did this report, which was, I started on Friday, finished it off over the weekend. We had about 30% of the steel up. We had steel back in Monday and yesterday. So now our steel is about 50%. They won't be there tomorrow because they don't work in the rain for some reason. There are a couple of small issues with steel. We're getting some special brackets made that there was some wrong measurements, and we've had it re-engineered, and these new brackets are going to fix the problem, and then we'll be moving on to completion. And I'm hoping that steel will be finished by the end of the month, and we'll be going with roof first week of February. And hopefully to close roof and then start concrete slab last week of February, first week. All storm drain downspouts are installed and complete. We did decide to do a little exercise with the sprinklers for the soccer field because we knew that there was water in those lines and we didn't want those to freeze and they start breaking and bursting, and then we've got a huge job that we have to do in the spring. So we actually paid the contractor that installed the sprinklers, and he came out, tested everything, we found everything. We repaired a few heads for the soccer field, and then we tested everything, and then we basically winterized. We emptied all the lines and winterized it, so we've got minimal to do when we go back to playing soccer. And all the HVAC, so electrical and plumbing is in, and all of the HVAC thermostats. We had those guys come out and get that stuff in as well. So I'm really happy with where we're at. And little problems, the niggly little problems that we have, we can take care of. There's nothing major out there, and it's moving in the right direction.
So a couple of points, if you don't mind, that I add in here. So as far as where we are with the project and how we're doing financially, as Clint said, we're doing very well right now. We'll feel a lot better once the roof is up. Once the roof is up, then, you know, now we're inside and things are already rolling, and there won't be a whole lot of surprises, I don't think. So that's number one. Number two, for those in the audience listening tonight with regards to the soccer fields, I have been in contact with the soccer organization. So everybody, I'll take care of that. They are aware that we are going to get back together and talk about, you know, what fields will be left whenever the project's done. So we've been very aware of doing the best we can to return the soccer area in kind the way that it was. Obviously, there's going to be some changing as far as fields go because of the space that's been taken up. But we discussed that with the soccer organization ahead of time as well. So I asked the soccer folks, be patient. We are going to make sure we take care of the area, and that we'll be talking more about that as we get closer to spring.
Thank you. Clint, not to put you on a spot. I mean, obviously, other than Christmas weekend where we had 0 temperature, we've had relatively mild weather. If you had to give us a guesstimate, would you feel we're behind? Would you feel we're on time? Or would you feel we're ahead of schedule? Just a gut feeling.
We've had 5 interrupted days since December 15th, but we've worked every day.
Okay.
So we've still had some trades out there.
Okay.
We've gone, when it's rained, we've gone inside and we've done work in the existing building. So to answer your question, we're good.
Good.
We are on schedule, and I think we're actually ahead of schedule.
That's great to hear. Knock on wood.
And just,
We're not going to advertise that.
but just curious, do you have an idea when you might be under roof?
I'm hoping to be on the roof by the end of
February. Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Clint?
Yeah, and it kind of in regards, but more directed toward Dr. Perry. When you feel, Clint, yourself, Brian Kilgus and everything, that 50% mark, it's a blend of work and cost and everything else, maybe like to get the building and grounds committee together
My list.
to kind of see where we are on the project.
I've been tracking all that information. Once we get to a point, like you said,
Reconcile everything and see how things are moving.
yep, and then that'll help us guide where we move forward from there.
Correct.
Mr. Zariski, you want to take over?
Absolutely. Number one, we're looking to approve and confirm the following building usage requests, which is in the chart listed. And then moving on to number two, which is looking to approve change orders related to the construction project under general contract or general construction contract. We're looking for a motion to approve change order GC number 7 for Center Grange, which is a credit for signage revisions in the amount of $977. And number two, to motion to approve the change order GC 8 for Center Grange, which is a credit for modifications, additions and deletions to the ASI -04 in the amount of $4,242. Under electrical contract, a motion to approve change order EC number 2 for Center Grange. It's a credit for lighting deleted per the ASI -04 in the amount of $1,674.34. And under the HVAC contract, a motion to approve change order HVAC number 1 for Center Grange and a credit for ductwork deleted per the ASI -04 in the amount of $1,194.90. And Dr. Perry can enlighten the rest of the board and the public in regards to what the ASI 04 is referencing.
So we have one of the rooms that was designated for construction was the large group instruction room that is in the kindergarten wing. The original design, we were able to redesign that area so that it matches the other two large group instruction rooms that were converted to classrooms. By doing that, we picked up some significant money back because of the design that we went with versus what was originally designed in the contract. The other area that we've made some significant credit in was the storm shelter mechanical door that we did not have to put in based on code. So between those two things, we've done a very good job of getting some credits back to the project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Any questions regarding building and grounds? Okay, thank you, Mr. Stritzky. All right. Item H, personnel items. Mr. Bloom, chairperson.
Yeah, looking to approve the resignation of Caitlin Stuckwish, cafeteria general worker, effective December 2nd, 2022. Number 2, to approve the resignation of Jennifer Gribman, learning support teacher, effective January 20th, 2023. Number 3, to approve the resignation of Christine Van Dyke, elementary teacher, effective January 17th, 2023. Number 4, to approve the resignation of Andrea Popovich, paraprofessional, effective January 3rd, 2023. Number 5, to approve the resignation of Tanya Wang, paraprofessional, effective January 20th, 23. Number 6, to approve Elisa DeBello as a long-term sub at the Todd Lane at a stipend of $130 a day from January 13th, 2023 through June 2nd, 2023, pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Number 7, to approve Clara Elmer as a long-term substitute teacher at Todd Lane Elementary at a stipend of $130 a day from January 17th, 2023 through June 2nd, 2023, pending receipt, review, acceptance of all clearances. Number 8, to approve the following mentors with a stipend of $300. Julie Rosensteel for Sydney Smith and Jennifer Lipinacci for Melissa Law.
Okay, thank you. Any questions under personnel? Hearing none, we'll move on to finance. Mrs. DeCenzo, chairperson.
Yeah, number 1, to approve the adoption of the preliminary general fund budget for the year of 2023-2024 school year, which includes revenues of $43,378,679 and expenditures of $42,453,806.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions under finance?
Mr. I have a correction to make to the treasury report.
Sure.
I didn't catch it. The Berkheimer report has 2021 for November and December. It should be 2022. Berkheimer report.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't know why I caught it now.
Glad you caught it.
Yeah.
I messed it up. Thank you.
Thank you. I should have caught it.
The whole meeting's been a lot upset and you're thinking that's not right.
We'll get it right.
Okay. Hearing nothing for finance at this point, we'll welcome back the public. Any public comment? Okay, thank you. Let's turn it over to superintendent.
Just that I'll be in touch with the heads of each of the committees at some point in time to set up a meeting, get together and talk about any items that we need to address under your area. That's it.
Okay. To our administrators here this evening, welcome back and Happy New Year. So let's find out what's going on in each of your buildings. And let's start off with the Warrior Way with Mr. Vukovic.
Prior to Christmas break, we started the Keystone exams for weeks of December. For the first time, the middle school and high school did a combo chorus and music or chorus and band concert. Huge turnout, standing for those concerts. So that was nice to see. I want to recognize the nurses and Mrs. Kostelik. We put together a holiday gift pickup that served probably 40 to 50 families within the district. Different items and different things they need on the holiday time. And going forward, we're coming up in January. We have finals January 18th through the 20th, and also our semi is going to be held on January 21st.
January 21st. Where's it being held at?
Fez.
Brett?
Fez.
The Fez. Okay, thank you very much. I'll turn on my hearing aid. Okay. Okay, Ms. Hicks.
I'd like to echo what Mr. Vukovic said. The combined chorus and band concerts were very good. It was good to see both groups of students, the middle schoolers and high schoolers, perform together. We had our winter dance in December, and students raised the highest amount ever for the CV Food Pantry Holiday Food Drive. The students that were on the court, the 11 students alone, raised over $4,000. And in total, that dance raised $7,602.36 for the CV Holiday Food Pantry.
Oh, that's
We're
terrific.
very proud of the students' hard work. We're going to be doing our universal screener next week to get our students in their intervention groups as part of our school-wide positive behavior program. We had our Warrior Games at the end of December before the winter break, and they were organized by our Inclusive Youth Leadership Club, which involves the students that are part of the Unified Bocce program. So over the month of December, we focused on developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and how we can include people in all aspects of schooling and throughout the life. And the kids did a really good job with that. And finally, we have our Plans for Success conferences coming up January 23rd for student and baby struggling.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Park.
So we have Special Olympics lunch on Saturday, January 21st. If anybody wants to lunch in the icy Beaver River with me, you're welcome to join, or you can come cheer us on. And
Where they can donate financially.
can donate financially, yes, our posters around. We have a lot of team members. That's being led by
Is a formal, right?
two of our speech teachers.
Yeah.
And then for bocce at the high school level, we have our next and I think last home match on next Thursday, January 29th. It'll start at 3:30, and then we're at Hopewell. January 19th, I'm sorry, and then at Hopewell, January 25th.
Very good. Thank you. Mrs. Kasanovich.
So we're very busy at Center Grange. During the holidays, before we left for break, we had a really successful second grade holiday program. It was really nice to have all the parents back into it. Nice having them all around. We also had the PTA that did their whole event on the weekend for Christmas break. It was very successful, lots of kids, lots of parents. We are now starting moving forward with our benchmark assessments for our intervention groups to start off with helping kids to be successful and support them. On Monday, we'll be having district activity and intensive amplified reading program training with our staff for all of Center Grange. And we're going to be starting our annual grooving to the music every year. We do this with the first and second grade students. So January 18th is for grade 2 and January 25th is for grade 1. And we are also going to be doing our universal screening to help with behaviors and social groups the week of January 23rd.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Fergotti, tell us about Todd Lane.
So very similar. We're starting our winter benchmarks for our intervention groups at Toddling. Also, the universal screener, we actually did that this week. So we'll be organizing our groups. Tomorrow will be our band and choral concert. It's at the high school, so that's at 7 o'clock if you would like to join. We're also preparing for our golden ticket party. So our golden ticket party is the grade level that turns in the most golden tickets. They get an afternoon of fun activities. So we already fourth grade won once, so we'll see who wins again this time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sakan?
In athletics, we are vastly approaching the second half of winter sports. With boys and girls basketball, wrestling, swimming, gymnastics. So they're going to be reaching the halfway point here next week. All teams are competing pretty well. Our wrestling program, Max, which were conducted here this past weekend. We had 3 first place finishers and a couple that finished in the top 6. So they're doing fairly well individually. I expect a couple of those wrestlers to go pretty far here as they get into the postseason. Some of you may or may not be aware that our cheerleading squad finished in first place in the WPIAL competition and all around. That qualified them for the PIAA state championships that will be held January 26th through the 28th in Hershey. So our girls were honored last night. It's the first time in school history that has been accomplished, and we'll be going to Hershey on January 26th.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Dolph?
Ms. Hicks hit it all. Just to add, our archery team seen their competitions and they're doing very well. They placed first and third. Added some hardware to a trophy case. They have a couple more competitions coming up over the next couple of weekends. Holds well to middle school.
Good. Thank you. Mr. McCreary?
B covered our report at the high school.
Huh?
Mr. Miller.
Oh, sorry about that. He's hiding back there. Mr. Miller, you want to get us up to date on technology?
Yeah, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we swapped out all the laptops with new ones, a little over 170 laptops. We have some miscellaneous people to take care of now, nurses, secretaries, principal. We'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. And then we completed a project at the middle school over Christmas. We're removing some sensitive equipment that were mounted on wall racks to floor racks. It's a pretty major project, but went smooth. Everyone came back after the holiday, and aside from a couple phones we didn't have plugged in, everything was good. So,
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get an idea how some of our board members feel. Let's start with Mr. Senzo.
I hear you're all busy there. That's nice to hear. And congratulations to our cheerleading squad.
Mr. Hill?
Yeah, I'd like to echo the congratulations to the cheerleading squad. That's been a while coming. We had a little bit of disunity over the last couple of years, but she pulled that squad together, and kudos to them. I think we should send a letter out.
We sure will.
We're congratulating them.
Okay, thank you.
Not from me.
Thank you. Bloom?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Ross?
Mine's congratulations and thank yous to a few people this evening. Okay, one, it's great to hear how the youngsters are how they raised money and did a great job with that, and it's a kudos to the administration and coordinating and running that and getting it done. Congratulations with that. Okay. The other is with everybody's talking about the cheerleaders. I happened to be there last night when they were accepting their awards, and I mean the kids, girls, are so excited about it, and out to our cheerleading sponsor and coach, Ms. Semavisky and her staff on putting together a great squad again. And my understanding is, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, Sam, I think there were 28 schools that participate in WPII? Is that it?
All
Overall? They compete against state, but there was, what's the difference between the 28 and the 8?
You have AA small school, AA big school, AAA small school, AAA big school, and they're just.
Small school, big school is determined by the number of cheerleaders that are performing.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, they also took like the grand champion, they had the highest score of the whole competition.
That's what I understand, right?
Yeah.
That's what I understand. And I know Joe, I know you had a youngster, had a daughter that cheered, and I had one also here. And, I was busy coaching, but I did see a lot of how much time and effort that those girls put into that sport. They put a lot of time and effort into it, and they're to be commended for the effort that they put forth. Because to go that far and to go where they're going now, I think it took a lot of effort on everybody's part, so congratulations to them. Thank you to Mr. Fakovican for having the vision and insight and the go get 'em type attitude on, I don't know how many of you are aware of it and we have seen it, but our weight room. All right. Mr. Fakovican had took the initiative to better this weight room for our youngsters, our sports program here. And I'm assuming maybe even the gym classes use it to some degree, if other than the wellness center. He had a vision, and he got somebody to come in, lay it out, and people that he knows did the roof did the ceiling for nothing, sprayed the ceiling. And I don't know if you had the chance to look in there and see he took an eyesore and made it into something that's really nice now. It's still not what we need, I think, but it's going to have to do for what we have to work with. Okay, so kudos to you, Mr. Fakovican. And he also has some other ideas how he's going to beautify that hallway and make it more of a sports complex. I've seen it on the computer, and it's really, really a nice setup, and it's going to be nice when it's all said and done. And all the equipment, everything's new, brand new, and if you get a chance, just at least look in and see what it's all about. I think it's something that our kids can be proud of, and the school district can be proud of, from what it was to where we are now. Okay, so again, Mr. Fakovican, you're a doer, man. I appreciate that. And the other one is our president, Mr. Ambrose. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but for years he has been in charge of our booster club and all holiday tournament that we've been running for approximately now 30 years. Okay. He's now stepping down as the face of it. And he's going to be, I'm sure he's going to be still involved to some degree, because everybody's going to fall back and ask him on questions. But to give you a little bit of a background on it, okay, as quick as I can, on something that took 30 years. 30 years ago, I had an idea that, for a basketball tournament, to take it to another level and to honor our student athlete. Instead of just having an all-star on a tournament, we wanted to take it and go to another level and recognize our student scholar athlete and try to get them some money for a scholarship. So the first year we started out back 30 years ago, I come up with this. I said, I got to do something. So I go to a guy that I think he's also a go-getter and a hustler, and that was Dave. And we got together with the principal of the school at the time, was Phil Canfush. We got a proprietor in the district that was going to sponsor us. And I think Phil knew him better than anybody at the time. And we sat down with him, and he was willing to put forth the money to give our kids, and not only our kids, but other kids at other schools, scholarship money. And we started out, and each one got $500. And each year we improved on it, come up with better ideas, bigger and better ideas. And a lot of it had to do with what Dave put forth the effort to make it work that way. I come up with ideas and I say, Dave, make it happen. That type of thing.
You're pretty good at that.
Yeah. And Dave made it happen. And if I don't, and Dave, you might have a better handle on it than I do, but every year it went from a $500 now to a $5,000 scholarship in 29 years that we have given out to our youngsters. Not all 5,000 went to every kid, but to a player on not only the boys team, but the girls team. And then the Gratisac family, they got involved. You correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, Dave. And they also offered a scholarship to one of our youngsters, okay, boy and girl. So now, you know, we had two people giving money out for scholarships for our youngsters. And I think how many hundreds of thousands of dollars through that years, you know, Dave?
Over $1 million.
Over millions of dollars. So I mean, that
$1 million that Mr. Betters has contributed over the last 29 years.
so that says something for you know, what has transpired in 29 years in helping the scholar athlete here at Central Valley. Well, it was Center, then now it's Central Valley. And it has really grown into a great tournament. And the majority of what has happened is because of what Dave is hustling and is out there. And I was involved in it. And I still don't have a clue how much time he put into it. You know, he put way more than anybody ever thought. And I think it's, you deserve a lot of credit for that, Dave.
Well,
Because it went to the kids, you know.
thank you. Just to add one thing to that, it took 30 years to get it right. Okay. And we had the best teams in Whitfield. We had two of the best teams in the state. And the newspapers really did us justice. Jeff Capel came up there. We've had 4 radio stations, 3 newspapers. It was just mind-boggling. And I don't think we'll ever replicate what we did this past year. And it's not all on me. I mean, I've had some great people that have surrounded us. So enough said on that.
Okay.
Thank you for the comment.
That's it.
Donna.
Have nothing.
No, I had the same thing. I think it was a great job down at the middle school with the money raised and helping out the community. And then big congratulations also out to the cheerleading squad. Well deserved.
All right, thank you. The only comment I have is just an FY about the cheerleaders like to hitchhike on this. And I think Mr. Dolph will back me up on this. I think you got a 7th and 8th grade squad. Every competition they've been to in probably the last 2 years, they've won every event except one. They finished second and they were cheated. Okay. What a great squad. Thank you for getting those girls ready, Mr. Dolph. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Not sure.
All right. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Moad, second. Mr. Zaritsky, meeting adjourned.